Could you be in a toxic relationship? Or do you think your partner might be abusing you? What are the signs and symptoms of a toxic abusive relationship? Today at queenbeing.com, I'm giving you a toxic relationship test. Listen to the signs and symptoms and warning signs and check off the ones that apply to your relationship to help you determine exactly what you're dealing with. Let's get started. My name is Angie Atkinson, and on this channel I offer free daily video coaching to help you discover, understand, and overcome narcissistic abuse in toxic relationships. I like to call it toxic relationship rehab. Sound good? If so, hit that subscribe button and let's get going. Don't ignore the warning signs of losing yourself in a toxic relationship. Have you ever lost yourself in a relationship to the point that loved ones had difficulty recognizing you? It can happen. Losing yourself because of your close relationship with someone is dangerous and unhealthy. Pay attention to these warning signs before you've gone too far for your loved one. Number one, you're unhappy but you're scared to say it. One sign of an unhealthy relationship is that you're unhappy but too afraid to mention it to your partner. Being unhappy in a relationship is common, and it occurs after an argument or another major event. However, if the unhappiness lasts for weeks or months, it's a warning sign. You want to be able to talk about your feelings freely. In a healthy relationship, you can calmly and kindly address the unhappiness with your partner. Avoid blaming them or using guilt. Focus on how you want to improve the relationship and how you can move forward. It can be, however, a red flag with a toxic relationship. Number two, you give in to all of their demands, from changing your work schedule to please them to never cooking your favorite foods because they don't like them. It's easy to fall into a trap of always meeting their demands. However, this is another warning sign that you're losing yourself. Compromise is a normal part of a healthy relationship, but it has its limits. If your identity and other things that make you unique are disappearing in the relationship, it's no longer healthy. If you're always giving in, it's possibly a way to cope with a partner and keep the peace. Unfortunately, this means that your own wishes and dreams get left behind. You might start to lose everything that makes you special because you don't want to upset the other person or make them angry. You indulge in distractions. Watching television or checking social media can be a fun distraction, right? A small amount of these things is great. But living in a distracted world is unhealthy. Do not indulge in your distractions to avoid thinking about your relationship. Distractions can range from watching too many shows to reading tabloid magazines, and they can vary from person to person. But you can recognize them in your own life, can't you? Many distractions are used to avoid thinking or dealing with difficult situations. Number four, your goals and dreams are gone. Do you ever look at your current life and feel like you've lost all of your passion and dreams? Each person has specific goals, specific dreams, passions that make them unique. It's your greater vision that inspires you to get up and move forward. However, if you've lost yourself in a relationship, your dreams and your goals can disappear. You might be pushing your own dreams down just to lift up your partner. You might also feel like there's not enough room in your relationship for your own dreams or goals. However, your dreams can't take a back seat forever, my friend. The reasons for ignoring your wants and goals might include fear of upsetting the other person. You might also want to get their approval. So you might be afraid to share things that they might not like or agree with completely. Anyone who's been in a long-term relationship will tell you that there are rough periods. And most people, if they're being honest, would admit to having doubts along the way. But sometimes we don't know how to assess just how bad is it. So here's a quiz to help you decide if you're in a toxic relationship. The more symptoms you think are true for you and or your partner, the more likely you're in a toxic relationship. If you have 3 to 5 checked off, you probably need a tune-up. More than 5, it's time to consider more serious therapy or to consider ending the relationship or both. After this part, we will talk about severe relationship issues. First, you feel worse around your partner than you do when you're on your own. Your self esteem has plummeted since you've been together. Either you or your partner, or both of you, are dishonest with each other. You often feel hurt by how you were treated by your partner instead of feeling good while you're together. You complain frequently about your relationship to others. One or both of you may have become frequently critical of one another. You are unable to approach your partner with your concerns in a reasonable way without exploding in anger or using passive aggressive, sarcastic, outwardly compliant but inwardly defiant behavior. Or you can expect that any confrontation will only result in an unproductive fight with no change. You feel like you have to walk on eggshells all the time. Most or all of the issues that come up between you stay unresolved even when you try to sort them out together. Therefore, one or both of you often take a why bother attitude about dealing with the issues. This is different from choosing your battles because even important issues remain unresolved and go underground. You lose your enthusiasm about your life and you've given up most of your hobbies, your friends, or your interests that were important to you before the relationship. Instead, you are consumed about the difficulties you're having in your relationship. You no longer trust your mate. This is it's tricky because some of us have trust issues and find it hard to trust anyone, especially after abuse. You might need help in exploring this with people who know you and possibly your partner very well. Of course, sometimes the doubts turn out to be warranted. Little things about your relationship bother you and you just can't let go of them. You find yourself more drawn to priorities outside of the relationship than you do to spending time together. Your sex life has dwindled down to almost nothing at all, and at least one of you is not happy about that. One or both partners have become closer with someone else other than each other. So this could include an emotional affair, or it could even be just a friend or a sibling or a parent or one of your kids who kind of takes your place. Obviously, the most destructive of these is if there's an actual affair. Online relationships are just as destructive as if it were in person. You engage in behaviors that take you away from your partner that are not likely to support a healthy lifestyle. You might drink too much, spend too much time out, zoning out with electronics, computer, video games, TV, escaping into your work, finding more satisfaction with singular sex than together. If you answered yes to 3 or more of these symptoms, you have reason to be concerned. Let's talk about severe relationship problems. If you are experiencing any of these symptoms, it is time to address them as soon as possible. It's usually very difficult to address these problems on your own, and getting help, or in certain cases getting out, if anyone's being abused in the relationship, including the children, is what you should do. You are afraid of your partner because you've learned to expect an angry response. It comes with name calling, crude or abusive insults, or even fits of rage. You might no longer speak with each other beyond the very basic necessities of sharing that living space. One or both of you might use indirect passive-aggressive means to get to the other. And you often have that feeling that you've been punched in the stomach, but you don't know why. Maybe you or your partner spend nights away from home without calling to let the other know where you'll be or where they'll be or when they'll be home. One or both of you might frequently stay out partying with others without your partner until very late into the evening. If there's domestic violence, including throwing objects, shoving, hitting, kicking, biting, or physical aggression, or there's violence against your pets, your children, threats of violence against any living being, it's a red flag. One or both partners might throw objects at walls or break things in the house or otherwise destroy your property. Maybe threatening the other partner, suggesting they'll hurt you or you'll hurt them directly or by hurting themselves. Some threats of suicide are actually thinly veiled attempts to make a partner feel so guilty that they become afraid of saying or doing anything. That might upset their partner because They're afraid, they won't leave. They're scared they'll be hurt. They might use and abuse recreational drugs, including alcohol, on a regular basis. That can disrupt the relationship. This may not be an indication that the relationship is in trouble, but the person is definitely in trouble, and their drinking and or drug use will very negatively affect the relationship. Using the children to hurt their partner, red flag. Or using the children to send messages back and forth to the partner, another red flag. When a couple has this much distress in their lives, people might wonder, why do they even stay together? Well, a lot of times people feel locked in because of children, because of finances, or other reasons. Sometimes there's a real threat that if one partner makes any move to leave, the other will actually try to hurt them. These are highly abusive situations which are beyond the need of therapy, and a partner might need to use local resources or a safe house from domestic violence. And now it's time for the question of the day. The question of the day is, did you recognize any signs that I talked about as part of your relationship? Have you been in a toxic relationship and you didn't know it? Share your thoughts and your experiences in the comments section below, and let's have a discussion. That's all I've got for you today. As always, thanks so much for being a part of my day and a part of my life, and hey, thanks for letting me be a part of yours. It really does mean a lot to me. I'll see you soon. It's my mission to teach others what I know to be true. You really can create the life you want. Take care of your body, take care of your soul, nurture the real you, and introduce him or her to the world. Be comfortable in your own skin and in your place in this world. Take your spot, take it now, and the universe will take its cue from you. You feel me? If so, subscribe to my channel. Let's get it done together.